I talk about this topic a lot because it's something that continues to exist, and naturally humanity is so flawed and so troubled, right, at the very core when it concerns like how lacking in compassion, love, grace, like all these qualities that are positive, you humans tend to lack, right? Um, and with that being said, I was the other day I was scrolling and came across this video on Paris, and I noticed so many comments pretty much blaming um, the immigrant communities from the African diaspora for their troubles, which is crazy to me, given the fact that colonization and European colonization has caused so much destruction in countries that are primarily made up of the Black and Brown community, which has led the Black and Brown community to flee and to find refuge elsewhere. So, to me, to blame individuals that have been terrorized essentially by the European colonizers and those of European ancestry descent that we know are privileged and still hold privilege to this day due to the very nature that they've been able to trample and use communities of color for not only free labor but cheap labor, and that continues to happen. If we really look at it, hey, there's pay disparities that occur. There's a reason why they want to continue to, like, even in as someone born and bred here in the U.S., why the white community, that being, and I can't speak for all of them naturally, and I can't say, oh, all white people are racist, but Trump's administration is essentially rooted, and this also brings me to another video that I came across the other day where this individual, a white, old, privileged man, was asked about why he voted for Trump. Uh, and someone said he is talking all this racism, all this hate when he's eating in a restaurant that is seemingly, or someone stated it was like a Chinese restaurant. Naturally, I'm not going to jump into that conclusion, but it was an East Asian restaurant, and it was yeah, it's crazy saying, oh, we don't want these people, we don't want immigrant communities, but yeah, we want to take advantage, similarly to colonization, stealing of their resources, stealing not only natural resources, stealing of the culture, stealing of the language, coming freely in and out of their own countries, trying to benefit and profit off, the many things we have, because, well, there's no culture, yeah, within their region, so naturally have to resort to ours. But yeah, it was a lot of, well, we can't be the minority, is what he was getting at. We can't be the minority. White people can't be the minority in a country that they built. Comical, because white people built America on the backs of slavery, because they didn't have to pay shit. Let's keep it real. And they were able to pass that wealth on to their communities, naturally only hiring whites. We know about segregation, or hopefully we do. And all this talk about keeping a region, and naturally I'm not going to speak for Europe. Europe, and I have a lot to say about that. I don't believe in supporting and going to Europe as a person of color. Perhaps that maybe, I don't know. I can't speak for all of Europe. Like, I don't know, and I'm not going to judge all of Europe and all the communities. I'm sure there's a lot of marginalized communities in Europe itself. So, sending love to those that are oppressed or feel oppressed or feel marginalized in Europe, and are also maybe like native to those lands. But as of now, I've never really believed in going to Europe just because of the blatant racism that continues to exist, continues to be, the villainization of immigrants, of communities of color, which they plundered their lands, but yeah, for some reason they're the problem. Like like people of color of the problem, right? And that being the Black and brown community, I don't want to dismiss anyone's identity. So with that being said, it just always baffled me that a lot of this blaming, this constant blaming, and naturally a lot may say, oh well, you're putting the blame on the white community. No, I'm addressing, hey, these issues exist, whether that be, a lot of immigrant communities coming to these regions exist because there is instability caused by colonization. Why are we, why is Europe even meddling, or the US? Why are these Western these Western nations meddling into affairs that should not be of our concern? Well, hello, they want the natural resources that exist. They want to still be in power. They still want to be able to have say in how and what goes, right? Keeping others oppressed allows you to continue to just be the ones, doing whatever you want, right? It serves them. It serves the European, or those of European ancestry, or those that identify with whiteness. It benefits them. And once people of color start realizing that, we can't be pandering to colonization. We can't be blaming people that also go through, our brother. I like to say brothers and sisters. Some might say, other individuals, and in this case, other individuals that are marginalized, that experience similar struggles. Why are we always pointing fingers at the other person of color? But we never say, well, wait, the reason why we're in X, Y, and Z situation is because of colonization. We wouldn't be fighting against each other. Hello, divide and conquer. That's what Europeans are, European colonization is all about. Divide and conquer. Go to other places and, put the blame on one community, and, have the rest of the world also put blame on that specific community, or on specific communities, be that not only racially, religious. We see that with with MENA. We see that with the Middle East. Why are we constantly villainizing the Middle East? Why are we constantly villainizing China, Russia, whatever it may be? Is it because we see them as a threat? Is it because we're intimidated by them? Intimidation, hate, jealousy, envy. Come on. Like, I really am not about that villainization. I'm sure every country's trying to survive and trying to stay afloat. But when you do it at the expense of other people, and same thing with racial groups, communities, that is crazy to me. Selfish, evil at the core, and no one can tell me otherwise. So when people do that, when people start hating, this community, and a community that has been oppressed, and a community that even us, people of color, us have profited, that might not necessarily be or identify with Black, we've been able to come to a lot of the resources, the access to certain things, like within education, within governments provided scholarships, whatever it may be. It's simply because of the Black community using their voice to mobilize not only their communities, but mobilize other communities. So let's give thanks. Let's uphold. Let's praise, in a way, the Black community and thank them for all that they're doing on a global level. I have so much respect for the Black community. They've been extremely resilient. Not only are they beautiful, ageless, come on, come on, but not they've been able to still stay graceful despite all of the things that exist, all the opposition. And if we as communities of color that might not necessarily be Black, but be, let's say, kind of like brown, right? Or not kind of, but like you get what I'm saying, like not necessarily Black, and we might identify differently. Oh, I'm Latin, I'm this, I'm South Asian, I'm, Arab, whatever it may be, but still people of color. If we only had that pride for one another, if we only had each other's back, including the Black community, I find that we'd be a lot more, I would say we'd be a lot further along the way. I'm just gonna say that. So when you really see someone that might not look exactly like you, but yeah, we in the same boat. We're on the same, maybe not the same exact journey, but we're in a similar journey. And I respect you. I see you. You're doing greatness, and encourage, motivate each other instead of trampling over each other. Come on, we be kidding the game out here. So just remember that. Like it just upsets me that stuff like that exists, and it makes my blood boil. But I can only preach what I see, and I can't change minds, I can't change perspectives, but I can say that, let's have each other's back, and it's not only through word but through action too.